a UK citizen and you want to move abroad, I'm here to help. I made this exact same video for American citizens a few weeks ago, and someone commented asking for the same video for UK citizens, and I thought, it was such a great idea since I am both a UK and US citizen. For those of you who are new to the channel, I have traveled to over 50 countries and lived and worked abroad in 5: Spain, China, the Czech Republic, Vietnam, and now in the UK. So I have quite a bit of experience moving abroad and applying for the correct visas. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the easiest countries for British citizens to move overseas. First, I'm going to start with countries where you can stay long-term, meaning you can both live and work there for longer than 6 months with absolutely no visa or paperwork at all, just your UK passport. First up is Ireland, which might be the one that most UK citizens already know about since Ireland and the UK have the Common Travel Area or CTA agreement. They've had this arrangement since the 1920s and reaffirmed it in 2019 prior to Brexit that Irish and UK citizens have the right to live, travel, work, and study within the Common Travel Area, which is comprised of the places on the screen. They also have the right to social welfare, healthcare, and vote in certain elections. So this means not only do UK citizens have the right to live in Ireland indefinitely without a visa, Irish citizens can also do the same anywhere within the UK. Next, we have Georgia, where UK citizens can stay for up to 1 year without a visa, which is the same as American citizens. It's kind of on the intersection of where Eastern Europe and Western Asia collide, so it's not really considered one or the other. I've heard it's very similar to Turkey in the sense of it's where European and Middle Eastern cultures, architectures, and foods really come together to create a melting pot, and it's super affordable, so it's a great place to save money and live for cheap while also traveling around the Middle East and Eastern Europe. Next up, we have Gibraltar, where UK citizens can indefinitely live, work, or study. This is on the tip of Spain across from Morocco, and it's technically considered a British overseas territory, not a part of Spain, which is why British citizens can live there indefinitely. And this applies to all other British territories, of course, which you can see on the screen. Most of them are islands in the Caribbean. And lastly, I wanted to throw out some honorable mentions where you can stay up to 6 months without needing a visa: Antigua and Barbuda, Canada, which does require an ETA, Dominica, El Salvador, Grenada, Jamaica, Mexico, New Zealand, and Peru. And UK citizens can also stay in the Bahamas for up to 8 months without needing a visa. Before I dive into digital nomad visas, which is a huge portion of this video, I'll briefly mention working holiday visas. This means you can work full-time without needing sponsorship. One of the most well-known working holiday visas is in Australia. This visa allows UK citizens from 18 to 35 years old to have an extended holiday in Australia of up to 1 year with the legal ability to work full-time, which means you do not need to be sponsored by a company to do this. You can just apply for any job. Most of the people I know who have utilized this visa are backpackers who just work in coffee shops or bars to kind of just fund their travels. They're not really looking to climb up the corporate ladder, but it is a great way to stay in Australia for a year. There are options to extend for both a second and third year, but in order to do this, you do have to do some farm or manual labor type work for 3 to 6 months before you can extend. The first working holiday visa costs 635 Australian dollars. Some other popular working holiday visas for UK citizens are New Zealand, which allows you to stay for up to 23 months, Canada, which allows you to stay for up to 24 months, and Japan, which allows you to stay for up to 12 months. And a quick mention for the J1 visa, which is a working holiday visa for UK and Irish citizens to work in the US if you are a full-time student between the ages of 18 and 26 years old, but you are only permitted to stay for up to 4 months over your summer holidays, plus travel around the States for 30 days afterwards. Next, I'll talk about countries that have digital nomad visas, since that's probably the easiest route to go so you can keep your fully remote job or find a fully remote job and just live in another country legally. Of course, each of these countries have different requirements, but generally you need to prove that you have the funds to live there. This could mean either a bank statement with a certain total amount or providing pay slips to prove how much you earn each month. And again, the amount is going to depend on which country you're applying to. And the second thing you normally always need is proof of health insurance. Basically, they want to make sure you're going to be a self-sustained human who isn't taking from their economy but just adding to it. So here's a list of all the places in the world that are currently offering a digital nomad visa, and then I'll go into further details about a few of them that are pretty popular. We'll start with some popular European countries that offer digital nomad visas, since this is an ideal location for UK citizens post-Brexit Brexit, as the time zone is relatively the same for work and travel costs back to the UK are quite cheap. The first one is Spain, which is one of the most affordable countries to live in Europe, with relatively good weather year-round and a great work-life balance. To apply, you need to prove you earn at least £2,140 per month, and the visa will allow you to stay and work remotely for a year with the possibility for extension. Portugal has one too, but it's actually called a temporary stay visa, but it's essentially the same as a digital nomad visa, which offers the same pros as moving to Spain does: affordability, weather, and work-life balance. The minimum monthly income requirement is slightly higher though, at €3,280 a month, and the visa will be good for 1 year with the possibility for extension. Some other popular destinations are Greece, which requires a monthly income of €3,500, Croatia, which requires a monthly income of €22-32, and Estonia, which was actually the first country to offer a digital nomad visa in the world and requires a monthly income of €3,504. Italy is also on the list, and I'm sure it's going to be an extremely popular digital nomad visa destinations for some of the same reasons that Spain is so popular: affordability and great weather, with a bonus of incredible food. But since it's just been introduced and not implemented yet, there's not really any specific information on it, so I would keep checking back on that one because it would be a really great spot to move to as a digital nomad. Now, I went into more detail about some Latin American options in the American version of this video because of its close proximity to the US, which means similar time zones and more affordable travel back home. So I'm not sure how feasible it is for UK citizens if they need to work on a UK or European time zone, but I'll dive into a few options anyways since the cost of living here is so low. We'll start with Costa Rica. It's a super popular destination for digital nomads because of its cheap cost of living and great weather. To apply for the digital nomad visa, you need to prove you earn $3,000 per month, and the application fee costs $100. It will allow you to stay in Costa Rica for a year with the option to renew. You can easily apply online, and it only takes a few weeks to get approved. Next, we have Colombia, where you have to prove that you earn 3 times the Colombian minimum wage per month, which is only about $750 to $800 per month that you have to prove. And the application fee is super cheap too, at only about $52, which will allow you to stay there for 6 months with an option to renew. And lastly, Ecuador, where you need to prove you earn 3 times the Ecuadorian minimum wage, which is slightly higher at $13.50 per month, and it's $50 to apply, which allows you to stay in Ecuador for 2 years with the option to renew. Now I'm going to quickly talk about retirement visa options. I won't really go into too much detail here since I'm not currently retired or looking to retire or looking into this visa at all, so I don't feel too comfortable giving a lot of advice on it, but I thought it was worth mentioning since so many countries around the world have retiree visas for UK citizens. So on the screen you'll see all the different countries that offer a retiree visa for UK citizens, and if any of them catch your eye, do a quick Google search of retiree visa in, and then type the country that you're interested in, and make sure it's an official government site so you can start to get an idea of what's required to qualify. It's typically just a minimum amount of passive income you're collecting from Social Security or pension, so if you can provide that, you should qualify. One quick one that I wanted to mention was Thailand. The Royal Thai Embassy outlines the steps to obtain an OX retirement visa, which will grant citizens of specific countries, including the UK and the US, a 5-year residency, which can then be renewed for another 5 years. To apply, you need to be above 50 years of age and be able to show proof of funds of 3 million Thai baht, which is about 65,000 pounds, either in a lump sum in a Thai bank account or split as 1.2 million Thai baht in passive income, which is roughly 26,000 pounds, and 1.8 million Thai baht held in a Thai bank account, which is roughly 39,000 pounds. Now I wanted to talk about a few different visa or residence permit options based on investing that are easy for UK citizens to obtain, but expensive. Most countries who offer this visa, which is nicknamed the Golden Visa, require a 6-figure investment in either real estate or a local business. If this is something that applies to you, here is a list of all the countries you can get a visa or resident permit with solely by investing, and a lot of these have paths to residency or dual citizenship, which I think is very important. And I go into more details in this video about why dual citizenship or having 2 passports is important, so make sure to check that out. So of course this video could be hours and hours long if I went into detail about every single visa offered for every country for UK citizens. The possibilities are just endless, but hopefully this shows you how attainable moving abroad can be and all the different options you have at your fingertips. Now let's take a look at the reason why I decided to leave the US and move abroad to the UK.